my sweet brother, looking for freedom. Found you. I, Shikishima Kyo, suddenly heard the voice of my older brother. As I hid myself in a closet within the giant mansion we live in, holding my breath, light gradually began to appear. You always pick places that are dark and cramped, Kyo, so finding you is a piece of cake. It never took long for him to find me whenever I hid. Even in the vastness of this great mansion that we lived in. No matter if I got lost in the process of trying to hide, or if I found what I believed to be the perfect hiding spot. My brother would always come find me. But for some reason, his face, his voice, the warmth of his hands even. The seeklings within me are creatures that take control over the mind and heart of the user. I've long since forgotten my older brother's physical features. When I think of him, I can no longer picture his face. Oh, Kyo, when are you ever going to stop being such a needy little girl? My brother smiled and wiped my nose for me. As I always chose to hide in cramped, dark, dusty places, it was never long before my nose began to run. Day after day, I endured the vicious scoldings from my wicked grandmother. You'll never amount to anything, she says. Everything you do is subpar. But no matter how difficult the day was, no matter how much I wanted to cry, One-chan always found me and took care of me. So I was able to bear with it. Every day, every single day, he and I were to play hide and seek. We were unable to leave. We were unable to ever leave the mansion, unable to go to school, unable to meet and play with friends. We were never brought any fun books to read or any exciting games to play. Hide and seek was what we did in our free time, always. According to my brother, those were the household rules. We had to undergo daily training in order to hone and perfect the special power that had been passed down in our family for generation to generation. This special power of ours, it is the power to control things called seeklings, which can seek out and find lost things. Daily training was essential in order to master its ability. We took turns hiding in the giant mansion we lived in. One of us would hide, while the other made use of their seeklings in order to find them. What is it, Kyo?
こんなこと、私、もうしたくないよ。私はいつまで経っても、お兄ちゃんみたいに上手になれないし。
Despite being born without sight, he could harness the power of the Seeklings better than anyone. But yeah, there you go. I was faltering a bit there at the start. I was like, oh, is her brother able to see? No, he is blind. So it is Renya.
いつになったらこんなことしなくてよくなるの？私がもっともっと上手になったら？
Maybe so. The reason why it's so important that we do this is because I believe this is the sole way for us to connect and become a part of the world.
つながれるってどういうこと？
We're unable to live if we're not connected to someone, or alternatively someone or something. It's in our blood. Each and every person has something they do in order to maintain their connection. For us, it's this, he said. So keep trying and do your best. Once you're able to control and use your Seeklings properly, and once the people of this house have acknowledged that you and I will be able to leave. That's the weird thing, right? Because Shigure also has the power of the Seeklings, but seemingly has no connection to it's complicated, right? Every day, we spent our time doing the same thing. It's more confusing considering that Shigure saved Haku and brought Kyo to this world, and the only connection between the two people is their ties to Renya. So it's confusing that in Hana's route, when Shigure mentioned Renya, he did not. It's like he was finding someone he never met before, right? That's what I got from when he talked about Renya, right? We spent our time doing the same thing. Yeah, I said that. That's how we spent all of our days. And every day, just like clockwork. My wicked, frightening grandmother would stab at me, demanding to know why I was unable to do something so simple. As useless and as incompetent as I was, though, my brother would always stick up for me. I still remember how indescribably happy that used to make me.
私はそんなお兄ちゃんが大好きだったけど。
But one day, his attitude suddenly changed. Come on, Kyo. That's not acceptable. You need to be able to do this properly when the time comes.
お兄ちゃん。
You need to work harder. You need to work harder and harder. Harder than anyone else. So you'll someday be able to use the Seeklings. I can't protect you forever, Kyo. You need to master this. It's your sole way of connecting and becoming a part of this world, and without it, you'll never be able to live an independent life.
お兄ちゃん。
My once gentle older brother, my once gentle brother had become uncharacteristically strict almost overnight. Yeah, that's what happens. That's what pussy does to a motherfucker. I learned from my grandmother. As a reward for having mastered the power of the Seekling, my brother was granted permission to leave the mansion. Apparently, he had found a girl in the outside world that he was very fond of.
最近お昼になるとどこかに出かけていって 何度か嬉しそうな顔でお兄ちゃんは帰ってきていた。
It all clicked in my mind. And that was why he'd become stricter toward me. He'd found someone that he loved in the outside world, and no longer had the time nor patience to deal with his needy little sister. Strangely enough, I didn't feel any sort of sadness at the thought of that. I was genuinely glad that he'd found someone who could make him happy. One day, however, that all changed. I stumbled upon the sight of him weeping all alone.
外で出会ったその人とはどうしてかもう二度と会えなくなってしまったってお兄ちゃんは泣いていた。
I felt toward that girl might have bordered on jealousy. After all, he'd never cried like that for me.
お兄ちゃん、私はお兄ちゃんを泣かせたりしないよ。
I would never leave you all alone.
だから気づいて、お兄ちゃん。
I was always waiting for you.
私はお兄ちゃんに迎えに来てもらいたくて、お兄ちゃんに見つけてもらいたくて、ずっと暗くて狭い場所に隠れて待ってた。また前みたいに二人で一緒にかくれんぼして、今日はいつまで経っても甘えん坊だなって、私に優しくしてくれるかもって思ったのに。
But he no longer bothered to search for me after that day. I waited and waited in that dark, cramped space.
きっとお兄ちゃんは私が嫌いになったんだ。私が甘えん坊で何も頑張ろうとしないダメな子だから。
I worked hard at improving my sealing control, hoping that he would take notice of my efforts.
ダメだったんだよ、お兄ちゃん。どんなに頑張っても私にはできない。難しすぎるよ。蝶々は私の言うこと全然聞いてくれないの。お兄ちゃんみたいに上手になんかできないよ。
Over time, he began to speak less and less, and I grew so very lonely. Eventually, I was expelled from the mansion altogether. I was going to be separated from my brother and sent to the house of a relative with the last name of Kirishima in order to hopefully improve my control over the Seekling's power. Ah, so that's the connection. Unless Shigure is not called Kirishima for some fucking reason. Only later did I learn the truth regarding my expelment. My brother had come to our grandmother and made the request.
"事情は聞いたよ。君が式の力を上手に使えるようになるために、僕が君を教育しなくちゃいけないらしいんだけど。
I shouldn't be surprised that Shigure is related to Shikishima. I was trying to remember her last name, but not like directly, right? Because I never remembered Shigure's last name, or I don't know if it was ever mentioned, but yeah, they both have Seekling powers, right? He knows Haku and Kyo, right? I still don't know how he's his circumstances with Haku, even though that even if there was a whole backstory in Kana's route, but yeah, still. I wanted to go home. I had faith in my brother. I believed that he knew I didn't want to be here and would someday come here to get me.
お屋敷街で生活することの条件。
Mr. Kirishima Higure began to read aloud the letter that my grandmother had given him. The conditions for living outside. What were those? I thought that I'd been expelled.
修練の進捗状況や毎日何を頑張ったのかを書いて定期的に送ってくるようにか。その他にも君のところのおばあさんからの要望はたくさん寄せられているみたいだけど。
Making a sour frown, he wadded up the piece of paper into a ball, then tossed it into the waste bin.
まあ適当にやろう。気楽に陽気に楽しくね。前から思っていたけれど、敷島さんちはちょっと過激というか神経質だって僕は感じるんだよ。こんな力を使いようが使いまいが、そんなのはどうでもいいことなのに。何をそんなにこだわっているんだか。
We get it, Shigure. You don't need to flex on Kyo just because you grew up in a better family. Fucking genetic diff.
だからまあ、修行の方は適当にこなそう。君がやる気になったら、できる範囲内で手伝うよ。
His approach to teaching struck me as very laid back. I mean, he comes off as very laissez-faire. Quite honestly, I was astonished. Since he was going to be my teacher, I automatically assumed that he would be strict and scary.
ところで、何か欲しいものとかあるかな？
欲しいもの。
あ、かねてより敷島さんの子供たちを見ていると不憫で仕方なく思っていたんだよ。おもちゃも何も買ってもらえず、おやつもなしで頑張っても褒められることだってない。おまけに式をある程度使えるようになるまではあんなだだっ広いお屋敷の中に軟禁状態。見るに耐えない、忍びない気持ちになってくる。
Disquieting. I thought they were trying to use the word disgusting, but no, there's too many words that aren't in the word. There's too many letters that aren't in the word disgust for it to be a typo.
だからいつか敷島さんの子供に何かできることがあったら、敷島の大人たちには秘密で思いっきり甘えさせてみようと、そう決めていたんだ。そして今がその絶好のチャンスというわけなんだけど。やっぱり物で釣るような真似をするのはフェアじゃないかな。
Mr. Kirishima then folded his arms and began to ponder. He was nothing like any of the other adults I've come across in my life, who would only ever yell at me to try harder or ask why I was such a failure.
それじゃあ、一つだけ欲しいもの言っていい？
The plot twist. She asked for everything that she wanted.
ああ、いいよ。一つと言わず何個でも。
He smiled joyfully at me. That made me a bit happy. I continued to request things from him again and again, wanted to see that smile of his more.
一度やってみたかったの。本当はお兄ちゃんと一緒に楽しめたらよかったんだけど。
なるほど。テレビにパソコン、漫画にゲームと。いいよ、わかった。すぐにでも取り寄せよう。 僕はこういうのは詳しくないけど、ここにはへんてこなお姉さんが住んでるからね。その人に相談して買ってくるよ。
いいの。私、何もお返しできないの。
別に構わないよ。ここだけの話、実を言うと君の教育係ってことで、まあ悪くないだけのお金はもらってるからね。
Mr. Kirishima grinned as he said that. Only later would I learn that this was a lie. Kirishima Shigure wasn't receiving a single yen from my family.
どうして？ねえ、どうしてそんなに私に優しくしてくれるの？
そうだね。僕は大きなお世話が趣味だからだよ。君が笑うと僕はとても嬉しい気持ちになる。そうすると僕は僕に満足するんだ。
変な人なの。
よく言われるよ。
That was how I came to live here. However, I was too shy and afraid of the other people living in this dormitory, so I shut myself in my room and made little to no contact with them. Only at night, while everyone was asleep, would I ever leave my room. I would creep through the halls to go to the bathroom, knowing I didn't have to worry about bumping into anyone. That was my everyday life. In my mind, I was still playing hide and seek. I was hiding here, waiting for Oni-chan to come find me, and Shigure allowed me to. Never once did he tell me to practice using the Shikling. When I came to him, saying that I wanted to return to the world in which my brother lived, he offered to help me find the way back. However, for certain reasons, returning to the world where the Shikishima mansion lied was going to be difficult. I didn't know which time the ball clock in the basement had to be set in order to connect to that world.
そして私は気づいたの。もしかしてって思ったの。私は名前ばかりの教育係のところへ厄介払いみたいにただ押し付けられちゃっただけなんじゃないのかって。どんなに頑張っても式を思うように使えない私はもうあの家には必要のない子だから。だから捨てられちゃったんじゃないのかって。
It filled me with sadness. The thought that my brother had essentially abandoned me made me so very sad.
だけど私は信じてた。いつかきっとお兄ちゃんが私を探しに来てくれる。きっと私を迎えにやってきてくれる。
I skipped it a bit too fast. He would come and get me. And just like always, he'd laugh and comment on how I liked dark places so much, while gently wiping my runny nose whenever I sneezed. I held on to that belief.
お兄ちゃん、早く迎えに来てよ。お兄ちゃん。
Months passed, then years, all in the blink of an eye. The only change in my life was the growing pile of manga and games that Shigure bought for me.
それなのに。
Nobody was going to come for me. Why? Why, Oni-chan? Why would you have me expelled from the mansion? You drove me away only to continue living with that wicked grandmother of ours. You hated me, didn't you? You loathed me to the point that you no longer even wanted to see my face. Was it because I was such a failure and never showed any signs of improvement? Was it because I was always so dependent on you? I wallowed in self-despair, all alone, until one day.
なんなの
As I was dozing off within my closet, I began to hear noises from inside my room.
うるさい
Upon opening the door, I found... Huh?
あれ
My brother's face, which the sequelings in my mind had taken away from me due to my inability to use them properly. I couldn't quite remember.
もしかしてあなたは今日のお兄ちゃん
That was why my first thought was that this person might actually be my big brother. He had finally come to get me. That was what I told myself. Please don't call me Oni-chan. But as I soon learned, this person wasn't my brother, and had no relation to me whatsoever. Even so, he was so kind to me, just like my brother always was. Occasionally, I would even find myself wishing that he'd be my real brother. He was my real brother. Well, thank God for that. Thank God he isn't.
お兄ちゃんあのねお兄ちゃんお兄ちゃんは私のことが嫌いになっちゃったのかもしれないけど私はそんなお兄ちゃんのことをもうあんまり覚えてないけれど新しく私を見つけてくれたあの人はねお兄ちゃんみたいに優しくて
When he told me that I was allowed to run away from the painful things in life, that no one could criticize me for doing so, I felt so indescribably happy. Those words of his were such a weight off my shoulders that I honestly felt like crying right then and there. I know. I've come to realize something. As time goes on,
私はきっとこれからその人のことをいっぱいいっぱい好きになっていくんだってそう思うのだからねお兄ちゃん私はもうお兄ちゃんのことを
listen, all I'm gonna say is that the Oni-chan part wasn't there in the text, okay? Once Shinku's power completes, she opens her eyes. Good morning. I check the time. It's morning. Quite a bit of time has passed since we started, I guess, it seems. That isn't to say that Shinku's magic takes that long of a time to achieve its effect. In fact, it's all over in a split second. What probably happened was that I fell asleep at some point as I was dreaming with Hyo. Did you sleep well?
うん。
That's great.
うん。
She stares fixedly at me, still lying in her bed. What is it?
なんだか不思議なの。
Meaning,
うん。あのね。なんだか私、夢の中でユーマに会ったような気がするよ。
huh?
それにね、なんだか今朝は目覚めすっきりなの。とってもよく眠れたみたい。
One second, Kyo. That's great. Sleep is very important for you, but what did you just say?
目覚めすっきり。私、とっても元気なの。
Yeah, I heard that. I'm glad. That wasn't what I meant, though. That wasn't what I meant, though. I was talking about what you said before that.
ユーマ。
Yeah, that. Are you referring to me?
うん。ユーマのこと、お兄ちゃんって呼ぶの、やめようと思って。
This is the breakthrough of a century. Why?
お兄ちゃんが二人なのはややこしいし、それにユーマのこと、お兄ちゃんとは違う呼び方にするって、前にそう約束してたの。
Right. Is this what we talked about last night? She nods with a short uh-huh.
私はもう、お兄ちゃん離れするって決めたから。
Oh?
今ね、久しぶりにお兄ちゃんの夢を見たの。いつもお兄ちゃんの夢を見ると悲しくなるばっかりだったけど、お兄ちゃんお願い、早くここに隠れてる私を見つけに来てよって、そんなことばかりを思ってたけど、でもね、なんだか不思議。今日は全然悲しくなんかないの。だって、
Go?
ユーマが一緒にここにこうしていてくれるの。お兄ちゃんの代わりに私とずーっといてくれるって、そう言ってくれたから。だから私、なんだかたくさん頑張れそうだって、そう思うの。
I'm happy that she's finally stopped calling me Oni-chan, of course. But I won't lie and say that there isn't a part of me that feels a bit sad.
もしかして、
ん？
ユーマって呼ばれるの嫌い？
No, I don't necessarily think that's it.
そう。
She gives a tiny nod and says,
ユーマ。
Huh?
ユーマ。ユーマ。
she squirms around and says,
ねえ、お願い。ユーマ。抱っこしてほしいの。
I'm surprised I'm not having a nosebleed right now. This is not good. Not one bit. What do I do? It's a bit of a more personal... Wait. It's a bit of a more personal form of address than Oni-chan, and that makes all the difference in the world.
ユーマ、抱っこ、ダメ？
Wait. I never said I wouldn't. Now I've started squirming around as well. I chide myself internally for getting so worked up over something so silly, but I just can't stop. Are your muscles still aching?
違うよ。そんなのは関係ないの。
Oh? Then why?
ただ、ユーマに抱っこしてもらいたいだけ。やっぱり、ダメなの？
No,
お兄ちゃんなら、お願いすれば抱っこくらいしてくれるのに。
fine. I'll pick you up and carry you wherever you want me to take you. I walk over to Kyo's bed in order to pick her up. Huh? However, in the process of that, I lose my balance and tumble on top of the covers. Ow. Now that I stumble over essentially nothing, I really need to be more attentive. You alright, Kyo?
うん。でも、
Yeah?
ユーマ、ちょっと強引。
What do you mean?
抱っこするふりして押し倒すなんて。
Listen, I don't think it's gonna lead into a hate scene, but the setup is right there. I'm pinning her down. I have to stop and think for a moment before it all clicks. But wait, this was purely on an accident.
そう？
Yeah, it was. I swear to goodness, I really didn't do it on purpose.
ちゃんとわかってるの。
Okay. That's a big relief. Phew. And then she's gonna be like, but I wish you did.
エッチなゲームの主人公も、みんな最初はそういうの。
Okay, that wasn't what I thought she was gonna say, but it's similar. What?
偶然を装った必然という名の策略で、女の子をペロペロしちゃうの。
Oh, come on. I told you it really was an accident.
好き。
What?
ユーマ、好きなの。
Oh, this is gonna lead into a hate scene. Please, Suzu, barge in on them again so that I don't have to put out 40 minute of hate scene. I'm caught completely off guard. What am I supposed to respond with? Being told something like that entirely out of the blue.
ユーマは育児なしなの。
Huh?
ゲームだったら、ここで主人公のお兄ちゃんは我慢できなくなって、血のつながりも性別の壁も勢いに任せて飛び越えちゃうのがお約束なのに。
A physical relationship between man and woman? I'd rather not have that picture in my mind, to be honest.
ユーマ、
Yeah?
私、嬉しかったの。そばにいてくれるって約束してくれて、本当に嬉しかったの。ユーマのことは、会った時から、なんだかお兄ちゃんに似ているような気がして、そして、本当にお兄ちゃんみたいに優しくて、好きだったけど。だけどね、ユーマが私に嬉しい約束をくれたから、今日でユーマのこと、もっともっと好きになったの。
Kyo,
好きな人ができたよって、そう伝えたら、お兄ちゃんはなんて言うかな。それとも、ユウマは私のこと嫌い？
huh?
いきなり好きなんて言っても迷惑だった？
No, I wasn't annoyed or anything. I try to relax my stiffened cheeks, praying that I'll be able to pull off a convincing smile. I think I close my eyes and begin to sort through my memories, or lack thereof. I recall the day I first met Kyo. She immediately struck me as weird, but I also thought she was somewhat cute, with her pretty silver hair. Next, I recall when we all went to the beach together. Even though she has little to no physical stamina, she still pushed herself to come along with us. And when she started feeling unwell, she rested her head upon my lap. I'll admit I was a bit shocked when she randomly warned me she was about to throw up, but I felt a strong desire to protect her and make sure she was okay. Finally, I recall when we snuck into school during summer break, and all the silly things we did. Honest to goodness, I felt at the time that I wanted to do more things like this with her. My feelings for her. It all comes together like an aha moment. Although I always grumbled and complained about her antics, deep down, I was having so much fun. When she smiles naturally, I feel happy. When she looked at me and said, "I love you, Oni-chan," I wanted to shout out in joy right then and there. It all makes sense. It really does. These feelings can only be one thing. I love you too, Kyo. Love. I feel like I want you to be my girlfriend, more so than my little sister. She takes my hand and shows me that sweet smile of hers, which I love so much.
ありがとう、ユウマ。私、まだまだユウマがそばにいてくれないと、一人じゃ何もできない甘えん坊だけど、ユウマがこうしてそばにいてくれたらね、何でもできるって、そんな気がするの。だからね、ユウマ。もう一度私の気持ち、聞いてほしいの。
Sure.
私もユウマのこと、大好きだよ。
With that, she and I share our first kiss. Look, I get that after every flashback, it always leads into the hate scene, but still... Yeah, you only get to watch them come once. Oh. This is part of the main video. We're no longer in the Patreon section. Kyo.
何？
Are you sure you want to do this?
うん。
Kyo places a newly written report into drawer 15.
お兄ちゃんに大好きな人ができましたって報告するの。
And he's gonna get jealous.
この前のお返事もまだだし、それにちゃんと届くのかどうかもわからないけど、それでも お兄ちゃんには伝えておかなくちゃって、そう思うの。
And just like Toru in Mio's route, Renya's gonna come to this world and try to kill Yuma. I guess.
これはきっと、私がお兄ちゃん離れするために必要なことだと、そう思うから。
Is that right?
うん。それにね、ユーマのこと、お兄ちゃんにも認めてもらえれば、それはとっても嬉しいの。ユーマ、一緒にタンスを閉じてほしいよ。
Oh, yeah, sure. We both place our hands on the drawer containing the report in unison and push it close together. He smiles softly. Kyo?
これって、初めての共同作業なの。
I think the first task completed as a couple was taking your virginities. But sure. Wow. I never thought I'd hear such a sappy, Kana-esque line out of your mouth. It's kind of nice and refreshing.
チュって、したくなる？
Yeah, I really do.
なんだかちょっと、意外だったの。
After sending off Kyo's report to her brother, we decided that it was time to inform all the other dorm residents of our relationship. Once they were all settled around the dining room table, chatting amongst themselves as they ate dinner, we abruptly broke the news. Well, at least Kana didn't walk in on them like Mio and Yuma during their hate scene.
みんながみんな驚いてたけど、それでもおめでとうってそう言ってくれたの。お友達の司も喜んでくれて嬉しかったの。
Yeah, well, I hate to break it to you, Kyo, but I'm gonna have to do the same thing. Yuma's gonna have to do the same thing to Tsukasa, in the next route. So, like, you know, oops. Yeah, you're not gonna be friends with her anymore. So it's fine, right? And Suzu was so giddy for some reason. She was practically bouncing off the walls with energy. I have to admit, it's a bit embarrassing to see a woman her age romping around like a small child. Recalling the various things she did, I can't help but let out a dry laugh. I'm glad she was happy for the both of us, but I just hope that doesn't result in her getting any more funny ideas in her head.
私はまたみんなと楽しいことできるならいいの。
All of us, eh? I suppose that wouldn't be too bad.
うん。
There's just one thing, though.
ユーマ？
Of course, I'm happy that all of our friends have accepted our relationship. I truly am. But a piece feels missing. Let's experience love. I have this nagging feeling in the back of my mind that there was someone else who I wanted to break the news to. Someone who, more than anyone else, I wanted to be happy for me. Okay, now this makes even less sense. Okay, now that it's not the exception in Mio's route, why is Kana's route the exception? Right? Is it because nothing happened to Yuma that required Shinku to use her powers? Because I could guarantee Renya is probably gonna be like fucking Toru in some way or another with against Yuma, right? That's this is so strange. I just can't seem to put my finger on who that person was. And when I try to think of them, even though I can't remember who they are, my chest really tightens up for some reason.
どうしたの？
Huh?
ユーマ、浮かない顔なの。
No, I'm not sad.
そう？
She cocks her head and gives me a curious look.
だけど、意外だったのは、あの二人なの。
Who?
うん。あのメイドと幼馴染は、私とユーマが好き好きになっちゃったって言ったらね、
I
おめで
mean,
とうよりも、怒っちゃうんじゃないかって、
that would make
そう思っ
sense.
ていたの。
They are the closest to Yuma. Why would they get mad at you?
へー。
Why are you looking at me like that?
ユーマ、それはちょっと、さすがの私も、どうかと思うの。
Yo, you wouldn't care to, fill me in on whatever this is about, would you?
ユーマはリアルエロゲー主人公。歩いていく場所にフラグが立つような気がするの。
Huh?
みんながなんだかちょっと、かわいそうなの。
Hey, I already did their routes, okay? You don't need to feel bad for them. What are you talking about? I'm really confused right now.
でもね、そんなユーマにペロペロされちゃった私はもっと、おバカちゃん。
Listen, Kyo, that's just par for the course when it comes to eroge, heroines. Yeah. Kyo.
なんでもないの。
She responds with a tiny smile.
そういうユーマも可愛くて、私は好きなの。
When isn't her smile tiny? I'm super confused right now, but I know that definitely wasn't a compliment either way.
そんなことないの。
Saying that, she turns her computer on. That's a TV, but sure.
ユーマ、一緒にゲームしよう。
You want to play a game? Sure, I guess. But what are we playing?
うん。
Where was the so get this part?
通販会社さんと宅配便の偉い人が頑張ってくれたおかげで、期待の新作をフラゲできたので、それを一緒にしたいと思うの。
Ah, so she's got connections. You got it pre-release?
フライングゲット。
She looks genuinely proud to have accomplished such a feat. You sound so silly just now. You sounded so silly just now. She then pats the seat in front of the PC.
ここ。ユーマはここに座って。
Right. Though, where are you gonna sit, Kyo? We can't exactly play the game together if I'm occupying the only seat.
いいから座って。
Okay.
よいしょ。
Oh. She plops herself down right on my lap.
は
So this was your plan all along, eh?
ここに座るの。私大好き。
Oh, do you now?
このディスクをセットして。
Sure thing. Wait, hey. I falter the moment I lay up eyes upon the disc label.
なーにー
This is one of those porn games.
そうなの。
Not only that, but, well, judging from the title, this is obviously one of those games where the brother makes a pass on his cute little sister.
このお兄ちゃんは、かわいいかわいい妹の、ここ最近の発育の良さに、嬉しいような、悲しいような、微妙な気持ちでそわそわしてるの。お兄ちゃんは小さいのが好きだから。
Bruh. I thought you were trying to move away from your obsession with your brother.
するよ。でもね、平面世界と立体世界とは、また別のお話なの。とは言わないよ。私、お兄ちゃんとさよならするの。
Damn, Twitter could learn a thing or two from her.
だからね、血のつながったお兄ちゃんと妹がチュッチュするゲームは、これで最後にしようと思うの。
So, what you're saying is, this only extends to games with blood-related little sisters?
へえ。
Never mind. In my opinion, though, I don't think it's entirely necessary to give up something you love in order to become less fixated on your older brother or whatever. You can keep one while getting rid of the other. To be entirely honest, what I take most issue with is the fact that she decided a porn game was the perfect genre to play with me instead of something more appropriate. But oh well. Yeah, but what? Why are you talking about what's appropriate and what isn't? You literally fucked her. Come on, can we play something else? We'll have more fun playing something normal, I guarantee you.
いや、
Why not?
だって、もうユーマと格闘ゲームしたって面白くないの。
She pouts at me huffily.
ユーマ意地悪だから、私に勝たせてくれないの。
I mean, I try to.
とにかくやるの。今度は私の得意分野で勝負なの。
You want to challenge me in a game like this? Okay. After the installation process finishes, a window pops up and Kyo clicks on the button that reads Start Game, Fine, I'm ready. Let's go. I can't imagine we'll get to any of the, sex scenes until way later on. So, I'll use this time to prepare myself mentally. What are you talking about? Forget mentally preparing yourself for sex scenes in a game. You had a literal sex scene in real life, in their context. Hang on, should I? Oni-chan's big heart. Redacted. I'm done. We're playing something else. I try to stand up.
ダメ。
However, Kyo firmly denies my request. Yuma, I don't know what you don't understand. Kyo plays Nuki games. She does not care about the story, she only cares that the big brother is fucking the younger sister, okay? She keeps me in place by pressing her butt downward.
逃げちゃダメなの。
What the hell did you rope me into playing? We're on the very first scene and there's mosaics everywhere.
世の中にはね、甘々な純愛を語り合うようなゲームと、そうでないのがあってね。
I don't give a crap. I'm not interested in learning about this game of yours.
どうしてそんなに恥ずかしがるの？
Because I'm currently trying to work out what what I ever did to deserve a punishment as cruel as playing a game full of sex scenes with a girl who you had a sex scene with.
昨日の夜は私とエッチなことしたのに。
See, she pointed it out. She continues to click her mouse, progressing through this godforsaken sex scene. Please stop this. I can't take any more of this torture. She grins at me impishly. Kyo,
ねえ、私の勝ち？これって私の勝ちなの？
I win. She continues to pester me, clicking through the game all the while. I wasn't even competing with you in the first place.
そう。
Click. I'm sorry, I apologize. No more of this, please. You win, I lose. Are you happy now?
やったー！
She throws her hands up and cheers.
やっとユーマに勝ったの。
Now that the problematic scene is finally over with, we transition into a more slice-of-life-esque scene that will soon transition into another sex scene. Phew, that was a serious shock. I had no idea that such wildly obscene games existed in this world.
あ、
Go. Oh. For some reason, she's gone quiet. Everything okay?
うーん。
He squirms around a tiny bit.
ユーマ、
Yeah?
お尻に何か当たってるの。
I knew it. Huh?
もしかして今ので元気になっちゃったの？
I've been praying inwardly that she wouldn't notice, but given the position she's sitting in, I suppose she was bound to feel it sooner or later. Ah, Oni-chan, I'm in a naughty mood again. Without delay, another obscene scene begins playing out on the other side of the monitor. I told you. Wasn't that a little bit too quick? Kyo is still squirming around restlessly. I'm at a total loss regarding what to do.
ユーマ、
Yeah?
私たちもゲームでやってること真似してみるの？
Surely they aren't gonna do another hate seed so quickly. Just like in the game that they're playing. Explain.
ゲームのお兄ちゃんと妹のセリフとそれとシチュエーションを真似てしてみるの。
That's a bit kinky. I think that's a little too wild for my tastes.
ちょっと難しいけど楽しいって思うの。
Yeah.
だからユーマ。
Fun. Oh, Ni-chan, I can't wait any longer. The game continues on autoplay.
私昨日の夜の続きしたいの。
Yeah, that like you didn't finish. Her lips are mere inches away.
ゆうくん、ちょっとごめんよ。
Thank God, saved by the Suzu, but also joined in a bad time. A certain unwanted visitor happens to barge right in the room without even a knock or anything. Jesus Christ. I'm not gonna say all those Oni-chans. Oni-chan X3, I love you. Oni-chan X2, shoot your hot load inside me, please. I wish this whole world and everything in it would just cease to exist right if they're here and now. Hey, at least you didn't get walked in on during a hate scene. In your world, not in the, you know.
もしかしてお楽しみでしたの？
Almost. You really do need to make this any more awkward. You do not need to make this any more awkward than it already is.